Here's a question biology has never fully closed. Why does sex exist at all? Not why it matters to you, why any living thing does it. Because on the arithmetic, it should have lost, badly, about 1 billion years ago. There is a cheaper way to make a copy of yourself, and some animals use it. It should have won. Graham Bell called this the queen of problems in evolutionary biology, and the answer, when it came, wasn't romance. It was a parasite in a lake in New Zealand. Start with how old this is. On Somerset Island in Arctic Canada, there's a rock with a fossil in it, a red alga called Bangiomorpha pubescens. In 2018, it was dated by radioactive decay at 1,047,000,000 years old. What makes it famous isn't the age, it's that inside a single organism there are 2 different kinds of reproductive cell. One makes copies, the other makes something that has to combine with a cell from another individual. That is sex, preserved in stone, and nobody has found anything older. Then there's this. That same fossil is the oldest organism anyone can confidently place on the tree of life at all. The oldest sex we can point to and the oldest body we can name are the same fossil in the same rock. Nicholas Butterfield, who described it, argued that isn't a coincidence, that sex is what made complicated bodies possible. So why is that a problem? Because sex is expensive, and you can put a number on it. 2 females, same species, same lake. One reproduces sexually, the other is a clone. She makes daughters, no male required. Give them the same number of offspring. The sexual female spends half of hers on sons, and sons don't make eggs. The clone spends none. So next generation, the clone's lineage is twice the size, then twice again. John Maynard Smith called it the cost of males. With 2 sexes and an even sex ratio, sex runs at a 2-fold cost. Not slightly worse, half as good, every generation, forever. And it isn't a thought experiment. In 2017, researchers took sexual snails and clones from the same New Zealand lake, put them in outdoor tanks, and let them breed. The clones gained at a rate consistent with that 2-fold cost. The maths came true in a tank. Which leaves one problem. The clones never took the lake. Here's what's holding sex up, and it's smaller than the snail. The lake is Lake Alexandrina on the South Island, and it's full of a flatworm called microphallus. It doesn't kill the snail, it gets inside, reproduces, asexually, in the snail's gonad, and within 8 to 12 weeks, that snail is sterile. The parasite doesn't take the animal's life, it takes its reproduction. Now, where does it strike? Its final host is a duck. Ducks feed in the shallows, so infection is heaviest in shallow water and thins as the lake deepens. And across that gradient, the sexual snails are significantly more common exactly where the parasites are worst. Over 5 years, at 4 sites, sexual snails carried fewer infections than the clones living beside them, at most sites in most years. Because a clone is a lock that never changes. Every generation, the same key fits. Give a parasite a few dozen generations, and it picks it. Sex changes the lock. You're not paying for progress, you're paying not to be predictable. For a long time, one group looked like proof you could stop paying. Belloid rotifers, microscopic freshwater animals, in moss, in gutters, everywhere. They seem to have given up sex tens of millions of years ago and thrived anyway, and no male has ever been observed. Not one in the whole history of looking. Maynard Smith called them an evolutionary scandal. They were the standing counterargument to everything you've just heard. Then, in 2020, a team sequenced 11 of them, caught wild, and read the genomes against each other. The pattern was wrong. Variants sitting far apart on different chromosomes appeared in combinations that strict cloning cannot produce, and that occasional sex does predict. Nobody has watched it happen. Nobody has the mechanism, and some argue it's gene swapping rather than true meiosis. But the best case anyone had for life without sex now has sex written through its genome. So the price. Every time your body builds an egg or a sperm, it shuffles the deck and deals half of you away. From the chromosomes alone, before a single strand crosses over, that's roughly 8.4 million possible hands. Crossing over makes the number meaningless. Nobody has ever had your genome. Nobody ever will. And the machinery doing the shuffling is the same machinery in the seaweed, the snail, and the rotifer. One invention, inherited by everything that has it, running unbroken from a rock in the Arctic to you. Half of you doesn't make the trip. That's the fee. What it buys is a lock nothing has picked yet.